All right, the conclusion, part 4 of our get home bag. Yeah, I gotta do this here. There we go. Get home bag. Is that crooked? Let me see. Now this needs to go. Only the best, guys. Only the best. All right. That says get home bag. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we've talked about questions you need to ask prior to putting together your bag. Your short bag, up to that 10 miles one day. Your medium, your 10 to 50 miles, the 1 to 7 day ish. Okay. And here's where we get into the long bag. Okay. Over 50 miles, over 7 days, large pack once again, probably maybe you got some accessory pouches on the outside with stuff. It is going to be heavy. Okay. And here we are looking at a slow and steady pace. If you are 20 days from home and you twist an ankle, what's up? Okay? You're not able, God forbid, break a leg, where you're not even able to hunker down somewhere. Do you have the things in your pack to sustain you? So yeah, this one is slow and steady. Now you might be thinking, it's like, that makes no sense. I've got, excuse me. Yes, I put in a chew. I wanted a chew, so I put one in. It's my house, it's my channel. I can do that. Anyway. Yeah, slow and steady. Where you think it's like, well, it's going to take a long time to get there to begin with. Why am I slowing down even more? Okay. You don't want that injury. Okay. You don't want that injury. You get that injury and you're laid up for 3 or 4 days. You're going to run out of food, or you're not going to be able to, if it's winter, if it's cold, or you're not going to be able to create fire, gather up wood for that, things of that nature. Okay. So, along with that, so the long, over 50 miles, over 7 days, large pack, it's going to be heavy, slow and steady. Okay. You notice there's not as many items here. Okay. We've already covered a bunch in the short and a bunch in the medium. Okay. These are just your additionals. Okay. So pretty much like I just said, everything from the short and medium. Okay. The items from the short and medium bags, plus food. Enough. What's enough? I don't know. If you're talking 10 days, okay, maybe you need 8 of the MREs or the mountain houses or the hiker food, okay? Now, if you're talking out 20 days, you can't carry enough food for that, okay? So here's where you planning out is going to come into play. And just to back up just for a sec, over 7 days. Don't make the mistake of thinking, okay, it's 100 miles. I can do 10 miles a day, so it's going to take me 10 days. Don't think like that. There are going to be those days to where you're going to need an off day. Okay? If you look like this, okay? Now, if you are physically fit, if you are a marathon runner, if you are, an athlete, things like that, okay, can you keep up the pace? Possibly can. If you're a normal person, maybe you've got a little, not as big as this one, but a little belly, okay? Over the years, you're getting a little bit older, your knees hurt a little bit, your ankles hurt a little bit. You're going to need those days off, okay? So you're going to have to plan for that. That's going to extend that out more. That's going to mean, more food, all those things. So that's something you're going to have to pre-plan, okay? So food, enough. Can you carry enough? I don't know. I don't know how far away you are. That's going to be on you, okay? You are going to have to replenish your food if you are talking that 20 days out, okay? Is that going to be from scavenging? Go back and watch the bug out scavenging videos that I've made. I think there's 2 of them. If you're talking as far as living off the land, that's where your fishing and traps come in. I do believe that there is a place for fishing and trapping See how I did that? There is a place for fishing and trapping in either your get home or your bug out bags. Okay. Any of you that have trapped, and I'm talking about, oh, sorry, I had a hard day at work. My back's talking to me. Any of you that have trapped, and I mean modern traps, either the snares or the foothold traps or the dog proof for coon and stuff, those things work awesome. Okay, you can get meat by traps. Okay, if you're talking about conibear traps, the closing traps, the body grip traps, you can carry 220s, and there's weight there, but it's not huge. They fold pretty flat. Okay, they will take up space, but not a ton of space. Now, I'm not saying you guys need to have half a dozen traps in your pack. No, that's heavy, takes up space. But those conibears are reusable. Your snares are pretty much a one-time and they're done. Okay. If you are snaring close to your location for the day, there's a chance that you could hear it and get there and dispatch the animal before they completely destroy your snare. But if they go at it for a little bit, yeah, your snare's done. It's not going to work again. You guys like how I just disappear out of screen right there? Sorry, playing around. Fishing, I don't mean get your fishing pole out there and, no, once again, it's trapping, but fishing. Okay, you go ahead and learn how to do the limb lines and all that other stuff. If you got the yo-yo fishing reels, search those out. If there's plenty of them on YouTube called yo-yos, you kind of string them down. Haven't tried them out because I'm not sure about the legality of them here. Our property, I would like to take them down there and try them out, and just haven't had the time to. I've got a couple of them. But a little fishing kit, yeah, something you can secure to a limb line. You know, bend the sapling over, trim it, you know, secure it down on the ground, have your line going out. Let's try this again. Take your sapling, trim off the limbs, bend her over, have that line coming down to your trigger, and then from the trigger going out into the water. And then when the fish pulls it, it releases, it sets the hook. Okay. Setting a few of those. So anyway, that's where your fishing and your trapping and or your scavenging is going to come in. Okay, you got a 20-day, 30-day, there's no way you can carry enough. I almost did that on camera. I've only done that on camera, I don't know how many times in so many videos. Your cover. Okay, multiple changes of clothes. Here is where you're going to want to think about that second pair of pants, having a couple shirts, okay, those type of things, at least to where if your clothes are covered in mud and gunk, you can change into something else, scrub them out in the creek real quick, let them dry. At least you've got something to wear while that's happening. This is where you're starting to get into that. Okay, coat. Okay, it's early fall and it's still 70 degrees during the day and it's 40 degrees at night. Okay, man, my back. But if you're talking that you're 20 days out, what's the weather going to be like in 20 days, in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks? Okay, if that's how far you have to go. If you are going from Florida to Pennsylvania, okay, you might want to think about that. Have your heavier clothes already stationed, that way you got them. Sewing kit. I didn't include this in the medium just for the fact of if you get a tear in your pants, something like that, if you can rig something up for that extra 2 days until you get home, you don't have to worry about it. But here's where sewing kit, patch kit, okay, whatever you want to call it, repair kit for your clothing, for your gear. If something happens and you're still 2 weeks out, you need to repair that. And all that's where your 550 cord can come in too. You know, all the little strands in there, real handy for that stuff. So sewing kit, security, more ammo, question mark. Last video on the medium bag, part 3. I kind of discussed my thoughts on the ammo. So I'm not going to go over that. Go over that again? That sounds more better, doesn't it? Okay, go over that again. Go back, watch that video. That, your call, man. Whatever you want to do. Water. This is where you want to have that backup filter. You want to have that second filter. Okay, 2 is 1, 1 is none, right? Something happens to your primary filter, and all of a sudden you're SOL. You're down to boiling water. And I will tell you from experience, to boil enough water to get you another day or 2 down the road, that's a lot of boiling, and it takes forever to let it not only boil, but then to let it cool down to the point to where you can add it to your containers, okay? That's where you want your backup filter. Now remember, this is all minimums, okay? If you like the water drops, use the water drops if that works for you. First aid, more, whatever more is to you, okay? Excuse me, depending on your area, what are some of the things you're going to possibly run into, and then that's up to you. Okay, now, you can tell not as many items on this, like we said. Everything's in your medium and your short. But there are things now that you're going to want to think about. Is Aunt Millie's house between where you are and where you got to be, but she's off over here just a little bit? Okay? Is it going to be better to go over here to her house, hang for a day or 2, resupply, go to there? Okay, who do you know? We've talked about the area. Who do you know in between there? Do you know anybody in between there? Have you have any group members? Okay, I put out the call last week here on the channel as far as our group. If anybody is interested in joining our group, to contact me. We are in Ohio. Okay, now thinking along those lines as well. Let's say you're in PA and you've got to go to Indiana for something. Wouldn't it be nice to know people, hey, how you doing, in Ohio? Okay, so even if you aren't looking for a group in your state, in your immediate area, it might be good to try to get some contacts with some other groups. Okay, if you are in PA and you've got family that live in North Carolina, okay, along your route, you might want to try to touch base with other groups in between there and there, and kind of get to know them enough to where if something were to happen, you can say, hey, I need some help. Remember me? I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay. So yeah, I recommend that groups get to know other groups, not just other groups in your state or your area, but other groups all around. You never know when you're going to be out of town, and you're going to be real happy that you touched out to that group down in Kentucky, because now you might not have some place to go, but you can. There are at least people there of a similar mindset, okay, and establish those relationships. In addition, if you are in a group and you are out of state, yeah, contact us. Okay, we'll get something going. Okay, this last thing I wanted to touch on. If you are on vacation and you got 50,000 kids like I do, and it's going to be a long situation over that 50 miles, a couple hundred miles you're going on vacation, to pack long bags for each member of your family, along with all of the vacation stuff, can be kind of daunting. I understand that. So what I recommend you do is, throughout these videos, whenever I stay out of the way pretty good, right? Push pause, write the stuff down. Okay. I touched on in my scavenging videos to now, while we are normal everyday life, write down items you would look for in a gas station, items you would look for in a regular office, items you would look for blah 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 blah, and put that in your pack. That way, if something happens and you go into that convenience store, you've already thought of a lot of things that you could use for different things other than maybe what they're intended for. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying here? But along the same lines, write this stuff down. Keep it, put it in your wallet, whatever, put it in your phone, whatever, something. That way, you're taking that family vacation. Maybe you've got your pack, or you and your wife have your packs. Having these items with you will help if you need to try to scavenge, okay? If you need to try to, and once again, go back and watch the scavenging videos. Don't recommend it, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, okay? As far as, and I'm not talking about looting. That wasn't looting. No, never loot. No, ever. But I'm talking about the dangers that come with scavenging. But if you have this list on you somewhere, now you probably already know all this stuff. You got this stuff in your pack. But it's that same thing of the world's falling apart, the wife's screaming at you, the kids are freaked out because they don't know what's going on, and you're just trying to figure out what to do. You got that list. You don't have to try to remember. You can just go down that list. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to get some of those if we see them. Okay? And that about does it for that. So I think that wraps up our little series on the Get Home Bag. If you guys have any comments, anything that we forgot that you want to add to it, please comment down below. That'd be great. If you want to reach out to me for any reason, I always include the email for us down below too. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, subscribe, pass the word around, and we will talk to you next time.